Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts and the GAN Survival Series, Week 2. Right now we have a Protoss player, the first from their team coming out. It's QiaoGeGe. Now, I was saying QiaoGeGe before, which apparently means something not so family-friendly in Chinese. So I'm trying my best here for Xiao. I believe that's actually his name. So maybe we'll just call him that. A little bit easier to say in the hype of battle. His opponent, of course, having taken down Loop in game number 1 for the Korean Zerg team, is none other than Saber. I think he had very good play. Really masked those Mutalisks very, very well. Not a lot of pressure came out of Loop, so it seemed a little bit easy there for Saber. This one should be, I think, a little bit harder. Xiao is one of the better Protoss players in China, and they do definitely have some very strong Protoss players over there, like Shanhun, who also will be playing in this survival series. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in to ArtosisCasts. I know there's a lot of stuff out there to watch, but Brood War is the best of it, so you made the right choice, and thanks for joining me here. Please make sure that you do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I hope you're enjoying all these awesome pro matches we have. We're going to be jumping around doing all sorts of great matches now that CNSL is over. Of course, that was just a fantastic tournament, and lots more to come. Now, the way this probe is walking, he's avoiding having the Overlord see him, right? It is a gateway expansion, so there will be Zealots coming down. But sometimes you do something like this to fake a cannon rush. Eclipse was one of the more popular cannon rush maps, but we aren't going to see that here. He sees no hatchery, of course, which means that you wouldn't cannon rush anyways. Jumps up into the main base, sees that it is, in fact, a 9 pool, and, of course, the 6-lings on the way. He's probably going to have to stay pretty defensive with his first few Zealots. Normally what you end up seeing against this, against a 9 pool like this, is you'll keep the Zealots at home, and you got to get 2 out immediately, because one holds the ramp with a probe, and the other one dances back and forth to make sure the lings can't kill the pylon or the gateway. And then, of course, you get the 3rd Zealot, and you try to make a Nexus. So that's generally what we'll see. We'll see if Xiao goes ahead and does it that way. Now, the Zerglings are going across the map here. Oh, he actually throws the Forge down instead. Okay. Well, maybe this is a better counter in a lot of ways, right? Like, there's only 2 holes here, so you can just make the 2 Zealots. He is still going to have to do dancing out with the Zealot to make sure he doesn't lose any buildings, and probably just leave the probe behind there, right, to make sure that the Zerglings cannot get in. Throws down actually a 2nd pylon as well. This feels like a relatively heavy commitment to blocking these lings. If he throws down that 2nd pylon, I wonder, like, does he want to go ahead and make a cannon as well? I don't think so, like, especially since Saber actually lets those go down. That's a bit of a mistake. Maybe he was microing over here with the drone against that probe, maybe getting some extra shots in so the probe could not kill the drone. But looks like Saber is just going to go ahead and make a macro hatchery here. This is actually a completely fine play. You're not going to super saturate these minerals super quick anyways. Oh, he cancels into the correct location. I was going to say he'll probably just make this 4th hatch there, right? Now, a lot more Zerglings are actually being made as these Zealots are coming across the map. I think that was a pretty significant mistake from Saber to just let those lings die so quickly. So, yeah, that's like, you definitely want to get the critical mass that you need against the Zealots. Just damaging these a little bit is not super helpful. Yeah, those things have a total of 6 kills, so every single ling having gone down. Now, 3 Zealots going up on this hatchery. Xiao, I feel like this is a good position for him. Cannon on the way. He has a probe down here and a Zealot to block, and another Zealot coming across the map as well. This, I think, is going to have to be canceled. I don't think he has enough lings right now to actually knock out 3 Zealots, even though they've taken some hull damage from the lings before, right? Like, that hatchery's going to go down. Kind of crazy. Huge moment here for Xiao. And look at this. In response, the Hydralisk den goes down. I'm quite certain, in fact, that is in response, because it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're not going to get into a comfortable macro game from here, losing that hatchery to just a few Zealots. So it seems like everything Xiao has done here has really worked out well for him. Cybernex core is on the way. He looks very well defended at the front. The Nexus is finished. The Zealots even were over here trading reasonably well. Now, there are a lot of speedlings on the map. So this might end up just being like a speedling hydra all in. That's what you would imagine, but he is making a few drones right now. No upgrade. Okay, that's what we were kind of waiting for, because it's like, it's good to make a few drones before you actually start making the hydras. You need to get to a count where you can actually support the hydraless production, and then maybe come out of it if it's kind of a weird hold or something, right? Like we see a lot of Zerg players, you know, they start the hydraless bus, it's not working, then they actually get out into a reasonable macro game and sometimes are able to win that. So you need to make sure you have that drone count. But he does finally get that hydralisk speed upgrade started, and we'll see exactly when he wants to start the hydras. These speedlings out, he has good scouting intel. It's going to be hard to get any scouts across the map, which of course is what that Corsair is going to be utilized for. Citadel going down before any additional gateways. I think he'll throw a pylon here, and that'll be where he centers his gateway production. And, well, yeah, okay, the hydras are being produced now. He has that third base. So, yeah, we have the 9, we have the 7, and we have soon-to-be 3. So, for those of you who are unaware, the actual name that they call this build in Korea is the 973, because it refers to drones. I know, so clever. 9 drones in your main, 7 at your natural, 3 at your third base, right? So that's just kind of how you balance it macro-wise. So he has exactly the right amount of drones. Hydras being produced, sent across the map. The Corsair is coming down. But obviously, this is going to find it, like, a little bit late. Okay, he sees the Hydras. He does have 2 cannons and actually a really fair amount of Zealots. 6 Zealots is pretty darn good here. And with the 2 cannons and 6 Zealots, like, he will start to make some more cannons. He's got to make sure, right? Like, he's going to lose the wall. But if the wall can buy him enough time to warp in these 3 cannons, then he's going to be completely fine here. Obviously, he's going to lose +1. He's not going to be able to get that. You know, a headache, but this is what happens against Hydra rushes. You're just going to remake that forge in the main base. He did start 1 additional cannon, too, because that forge was dying and he hadn't restarted it yet. Down goes another cannon, because he is going to get supply blocked, as you see. And the Lings come in, but it looks like this is just perfect timing here for Xiao. Xiao is doing really well, I feel like. Forcing the cancel on the hatchery. He parried this basically perfectly. Didn't lose very much. Like, he took some damage on the Zealots, but not a big deal. And now, like, yeah, I think Saber has to back up into more of a macro-esque play. Ooh, we heard 1 Corsair die, and now another one is at 3 health. So that's a little bit painful. You definitely don't want to be losing all your Corsairs. You do need to kind of check, like, what's going on here. Is a layer coming? Is a spire coming? Or are you droning? Are you making Hydras? He's going to fly this through once again and hopefully avoid Hydras, but no, they get picked off. So a good pick off there by Saber, who's throwing down an evolution chamber as well as his lair. Of course, the intel for Xiao in this regard is pretty low, and he's actually getting +1 air attacks. I wonder if he'll cancel this, considering he literally doesn't own a single Corsair. But no, he starts another Corsair here. I don't know about that. This feels suboptimal to me. Okay, I know that, like, you can easily go into mutas here as Saber, but it almost feels like, well, he failed the bus, the third base is late, the third hatch is late. Maybe you should try to take control with ground really heavily. And he does start Psystorm, but a single Corsair comes out. It does look like he's going to let that +1 air attacks finish. And, you know, maybe try to figure out what's going on with this Corsair. Is there a Spire on the way? Are there going to be Mutalisks coming? Well, right now, it's going to be a 6-hatch Hydra coming out of Saber. So, yeah, not too likely to see Mutalisks too soon. And just now, he throws the Spire down in his natural, kind of in a sunken colony location. You know, sometimes you can do that, and it just looks like a sunken morphing in, or a creep colony, rather, and you might not click on it, right? As you click past, you're like, yeah, that's static D. Okay, never mind about that. But so far, we got to assume he's going to click on it. Yeah, well, when it gets to that size, you can kind of start to tell that's not a creep colony. The very beginning of it, though, really looks like it. That Terran has buildings like that as well, and obviously a lot of Protoss buildings. But as they continue to grow, you can kind of start to tell the difference. Now, the Zealots are running out. They have their legs, but obviously not +1 yet. 2 Dark Templars on the way. By the way, this did get the +1. I don't think that that's going to be that useful this game. With 2 Dark Templars, we'll see if he's going to focus on harassment. Like, there's always the chance you go into Maelstrom. We've seen that gaining a lot of popularity lately. Not every Protoss uses it, but it does feel like every time a Dark Archon is made, it really is worth it. I really feel that way. Like, honestly, like, every time we see Maelstrom cast, even if it doesn't get mutas, it's like, wow, you just killed 7 hydras for free there. So I've been loving the Dark Archons, and I do think that that's a unit we're going to see more and more and more of as, you know, the metagame continues to evolve. The strategies continue to evolve in StarCraft 1. And, you know, we talked last game a little bit about Burrow, and here now I'm talking about Dark Archons. So let me know what you think about Dark Archons. Are they the future of Protoss? So the Zealots running around, just kind of, I like the movement from Xiao, right? He has this group of Zealots. They run down here, they run back, they run down here. He's just kind of like poking, prodding, seeing where his opponent is at, but not committing. Like, I don't think that there's anywhere where he would win a fight with these right now, right? If something opens up, I'm sure, you know, if there's a smaller group of Hydras, maybe he surrounds it. But just running them around and making sure that Zerg is making units and whatnot, I think is a really great play. In the meantime, many, many Dragoons coming down. I love what I'm seeing here. I absolutely love it. Like, he's got his 4 High Templars. He's getting Maelstrom with a Dark Archon. You know, we talked about how if there's a Muta switch, it doesn't feel like going back into Corsairs at this point is good. Maybe if he had saved the original 2, that would be a great move. But, like, I don't see the reason to do it right now. So having Maelstrom as your kind of backup there is fantastic. He's got a good, solid gateway count, all 8. He's got the Robo up now to make some observers. Dark Archon starts to walk out. He has enough for Maelstrom, although it's not upgraded quite yet. You never know if those mutas are going to fly in. And by the way, you want to keep this guy hidden. Like, if you can keep Zerg from seeing it, it has such a better chance of working. Right? And, like, honestly, as you get better and better at the game, you can figure things out like, oh, he has no vision up to here. Right? And notice how he's just keeping it back a little bit. He knows there's no Overlords here. His Corsairs cleared them out. So, like, good hiding so far. We don't see any Mutalisks really being made by Saber, so I don't think it's going to be useful in that regard. But definitely can use a Maelstrom against a group of clumped Hydras. That can be so, so good. Good zoning here. Kind of an interesting pylon as well. Very strong-looking army as he does prepare to take this 3rd base. Now, if Xiao can actually secure this for 3rd base and just kind of hold on to it, that's awesome. Like, you don't generally see Protosses hold this base that quickly. Obviously, you need it, but he's not even mined out of his main. I feel like so many games I see on this map, Zerg will take a little bit of control and put a containment up here, and then it's a real bother to get this. But he's been able to get it pretty cleanly. Although, looking at the macro going on right now, this is an absurd Zerg army. This is a crazily large army. 137 supply to 171. Very similar as far as worker counts go. Looks like a group of speedlots do go off to the side. It might be coming down trying to snipe a hatch, but it seems like with 2 lurkers plus some moving hydras, I don't think Saber's going to be caught off guard here. It looks like he's completely ready for this type of tactic. So yeah, that one's not going to work, but I love that Xiao is trying it and then pulling back, right? He's not just like, well, let's see if we can get it. That's what I was going for. Instead, pulls back. Those Zealots will live to fight again another day. He keeps his supply super, super high here. Going towards max quite quickly. He's going to have to transfer his probes at this point as that Nexus is finishing up. And, yeah, starting to push the Hydras back. He will take this high ground base. And how many storms does he have? Okay, almost 2. 2, 2, 2. So he has, like, almost 8 storms. He has 7 right now, and by the end of this battle, for sure, we'll have the 8th. Plus 2 Maelstroms. That's a lot of spells, guys. Let's see what he's going to do with it. That storm doesn't do well. This storm absolutely does. Shreds a bunch of Hydras there. Got to be careful not to take too much damage. The Observer gets picked off by some Scourge, so that's a very nice moment. There's the Maelstrom, and he will use a Storm to finish those units off. Doesn't feel like as good a Maelstrom as what I was hoping for, but definitely he's hitting these storms just right. And that was pretty efficient for Xiao. The lurker spread is still there. He's not able to break it as of yet. Let's take a look down here real quick. Okay, just like a group of Zerglings and A Zealot kind of patrolling. There are double forges going. There are double evolution chambers. In fact, triple, but he's only working on 2 right now. Does he already have +2? Yeah, he does. So he has to wait for the hive to allow this chamber to go for +3 ranged attack. That is kind of an annoying thing about Zerg. They have like 2 gated upgrades. You do have to go to hive to get +3 on anything. So moving forward with this army once again, Qiao does have another Maelstrom available. Only 3 High Templars in here, right? So we're going to have a total of 3 Psy Storms for this battle, which I don't think is enough to kill the whole army, but hey, if he can stay efficient, that's good. Scourge diving towards the Observers, but actually a very good defense. He only loses 1 to 4 Scourge. Very, very good stuff. Some nice storms go down. Has to make that Archon. I don't know if he's going to be able to save that one. Zealots get up, though, and will start to get some damage. No Maelstrom yet. He kind of targeted that Dark Archon a little bit, but it did get pulled back. Surprised he didn't kind of snap Maelstrom him to... I would have panicked right there. But Hive is done. Adrenal on the way, dude. Adrenal cracklings, as we call them, or adrenalings, are so incredibly strong against Protoss. They are so efficient. It's wild. Like, at that point, you're really looking at, like, Storm, Reaver, Archon. You know, those are the only things that can really kind of fight against them. They even start to beat Zealots, which is crazy, but it's definitely one of the best upgrades in the game. Now, Ling's coming up and doing a good job. Another good Maelstrom there, and he gets 5 Hydras. Look at that. Maelstrom plus Storm. 5 Hydras. Dead. Gone. Erased. Just for mana. Very nice. He almost has another one there as well. Has another Storm. Good amount of Dragoons up here on the high ground, and this I love. Oh my god. He's keeping so much pressure in this area where he's like, I might break you. I might break you. I might break you. He's not going to break him. But he's got enough here where if you try to send a lot of units elsewhere, he might be able to. And during this time, sets up that 4th base, gets his cannons up, has Zealots there just to make sure everything's going to warp in successfully. Absolutely loving it. I think Qiao is putting out a fantastic game here against Saber, who, by the way, is doing some great things himself. He has the Defiler Mound, can be very scary. Lurker Ling for the most part, which is an unbelievably strong composition. Everything that, you know, you kind of want against the Lings, the Lurkers are going to help out against. You do need those Zealots for, like, tanking damage and stuff like that. There is a counterattack going on, but the one thing I really wanted to point out is that the drop upgrade is on the way for these Overlords. So that's really strong when you have these Cracklings out. You know, if you drop Cracklings, they kill Protoss buildings so fast, it's like you blink and they're gone. Now, these Lings going to try to get up here. They are going to be able to, and with 2 hurt cannons, like, these Lings will easily delete this space if you don't send more units back. So Qiao actually getting a little bit separated, an excellent counterattack, and he does come back and cleans those Lings, keeps this base up, needs those 3 cannons to have a chance of holding on to that. Moves these Zealots back into position over here as well. I love him leaving a few Zealots, because if you don't, like, cannons don't do that much against a couple groups of Cracklings. You'll go through everything. Now, a bunch of Lurkers move up into kind of a containment position. Oh, the Dark Archon does end up falling there. But yeah, they move up into this containment position, which is really, really strong. And this will mostly cut off any reinforcements to this base. You could technically send some down here, but it feels like he might be setting up to kill here. And I mean, obviously, if you take over this area as Zerg, that should be a victory because it cuts your gateways off from everywhere. Now, Qiao is actually going across the map right now for an attack. A little bit sloppy there. Doesn't feel like this army is going to break through super easily, especially with the Defiler there. Lurkers and Hydras coming up and flanking the retreating army. Needs to deal with this ASAP. He has that 1 observer, very, very importantly. Crackling's coming up to flank the Protoss army. Oh my god, an absolutely insane battle, and he gets the observer out of the way just in the nick of time. Picks off the rest of the Lurkers. Great Psystorm up here to the north. But it does look like his Dragoon count is going to fall down to just about nothing. Saber looking to try to pick up another victory here for the Korean Zerg team. Ooh, misses that 1 storm that he has left over. The gateway count actually hasn't improved for Qiao, despite the fact that he has a lot of bases. He still has some High Templars out, which is good to see. A Dark Templar, he has good upgrades. He actually brings these Zealots that were kind of helping to hold on to his 4th base up. But it looks bad, right? Qiao is down like 20 supply. A portion of that is in drones versus probes. And definitely Qiao's economy is very, very good here still. So we're not too worried about that. It's just his actual standing army doesn't look like one that can really fight against this type of technicality. Between Darkstorms and Plagues coming down, like, the Darkstorm makes it so you have to use the Zealots, and the Plagues make the Zealots terrible. So it's a tough situation. Now, running up here, he's going to go ahead and throw down a Dark Swarm, which, of course, makes the cannons completely useless. And, I mean, we might get a couple Storms there to try to clear this out, but it is looking right now like we might have this killed off. Yeah, the Archon's going to be picked off before it can finish morphing. This Containment is going up, like I was talking about. Once you cut off the reinforcements from the bases, there's no way to stay alive. Saber has taken top left. I guess he's not taking this yet. Just has some Lings there, maybe denying it for his opponent. Lots of Zealots coming out. Like, Qiao is still trying to make something happen, but losing his third base, that's going to bring him down to a one-base economy. It's going to be very well saturated, but this is looking extremely good for Saber right now. All right, those Lurkers going to be picked off. Defiler trying to make his way out of there. And I think if you just kill that one army as Saber, you've won this game. Right? He's coming up a little bit of a flank. He's moved some of these Lurkers into position as well. Just kind of attack, moving everything he has at it. And again, this is really kind of the end of Qiao. I think he did put out, like, a really excellent game. He's actually more known for his Protoss first Terran, which Protoss isn't. But yeah, I think he put out a really good game here against Saber, because Saber played very well. He had some good transitions there. His defense was excellent. But Qiao got a great economy running. He just couldn't quite do it once he lost his main army here. The flank that came in from Saber just took the technicality of the Protoss army way, way down. And as soon as that happens, you're kind of screwed. GG! Saber wins another one.